I'm really excited to introduce the next speakers to you. So for our next slot, we are joined by not one, not two, but three incredible speakers. So we've got, and please excuse me if pronouncing incorrect, Gary Vansuch, Mark Eike, and Kelly Hanson, who are all joining us from the Colorado Department of Transportation. They are the winners of the North American Innovation in the Workplace Awards for 2020. And today they are here to inspire us all to innovate and improve, including inside government, and share all of the lessons that they have learned along the way. So I'd bring you all on screen, Mark, Gary, and Kelly. Hello, welcome.
Hi.
Can we hear you all? Say hi.
Hi, Ruth. Thank you.
We can hear you. We can hear you great. Hi. Hi. So I'm gonna hand over to you, Mark, Gary, and Kelly, and you've got a presentation that you'd like to share with us as well. So I'll bring that up on screen too. Okay. So it's over to you three.
Thank you, Ruth, for that wonderful introduction. And hello and welcome everyone to Colorado Department of Transportation's presentation on Lean Everyday Ideas. We're really happy to have all of you joining us today. We would first like to say thank you to Inspiring Workplaces for having us be a part of the Inspirathon. We're really honored to be here and to be sharing Lean Everyday Ideas with you all. My name is Kelly Hanson, and I am a current intern with the Office of Process Improvement at Colorado Department of Transportation. My background is in engineering, and I worked as a water resources engineer for the past 5 years in the private and public sectors. And after finishing my internship here, I am planning on accepting my offer to London School of Economics for a master's in social and organizational psychology.
Hi, my name is Mark Eike. You did pretty well with my name. Most people don't get that right. I've been with the Colorado Department of Transportation now over 21 years. I'm a maintenance superintendent. I'm up in the northwest part of the state. In maintenance, we handle the snow plowing and the potholes and all the maintenance related to the highways. Formerly, I'm from Iowa, and I used to farm a lot, but now I'm in the transportation field, and CDOT's been a wonderful place for me so far.
And my name is Gary Vansuch. I've been at CDOT for a little over 9 years. I'm officially Director of Process Improvement for CDOT. Unofficially, I consider myself to be the most fortunate person on the planet. I have a wonderful wife of 41 years. I have 2 terrific grown children who are making important contributions in education and science. I have the very best job on the planet as Director of Process Improvement here at CDOT. And I had the great fortune to work with terrific folks. And you're going to hear from a pair of them today, Mark Eike and Kelly Hanson. And I also want to call out a former colleague who recently gave me this terrific tie about leadership. Our session today is on Lean Everyday Ideas, and it ties very well into leadership. Kelly, back to you.
Thanks, Gary and Mark. So for today's presentation, we're going to start off by telling you guys about Colorado Department of Transportation, and we're going to go into some of the goals at Colorado Department of Transportation that led to Lean Everyday Ideas. And we're going to tell you guys how Lean Everyday Ideas works, and we're going to give you some examples that we have from this wonderful program. And we're going to end with a summary and some time for you guys to have a question and answer section at the end. So I'm going to be handing it off to Gary to tell you guys about Colorado Department of Transportation.
Thank you, Kelly. You see Colorado highlighted in red there across the United States, and some of the wonderful scenery we have here in Colorado. At the Colorado Department of Transportation, which we call CDOT, we plan, build, operate, and maintain the Colorado transportation system. And that's not just about asphalt and concrete and steel and fiber optic cable. It's all about our people. We have over 3,000 people scattered at 200 different staff locations across CDOT. We are driven to serve our customers, and we are inspired to improve how we serve our customers. And there are 2 key drivers behind that inspiration. Our enduring values, including the excellence value, and the State Smart Government Act. We have 6 enduring values at CDOT: safety, people, integrity, customer service, and respect. And the excellence value is almost exactly the definition of lean process improvement, which is what we practice here at the Colorado Department of Transportation. I've been at CDOT for 9 years. I've run into people who have been at CDOT for over 45 years. These are enduring values because they were around when they started. It's wonderful to have enduring values. I'm convinced that organizations that are driven by values will beat out organizations that aren't. And we have these wonderful values, including the excellence value, which says that we should be continuously improving our products and services here at CDOT. And we also have the State Smart Government Act, and this is terrific. SMART, by the way, stands for the State Measurement for Accountable, Responsible, and Transparent Government, and reflects the desire of our fellow citizens to have everybody in public service in the state to work to improve every process, every product, and every service to benefit every customer. Smart government. I love the idea of smart government. Smart government here in Colorado means that we are engaging everybody in improving our processes and our products and our services. At CDOT, our 3,000 plus Team CDOTers take that to heart, and our people are innovating every single day. And they do it with this challenge. You see this map of Colorado, and it has dots where we have people. We have people at over 200 different staff locations. How do we take innovations developed in one location and help them spread them across the state to benefit even more customers? We'll be discussing our longstanding Lean Everyday Ideas initiative in this session, and that's how we do that. It embodies our CDOT values, especially the excellence value, and it has been recognized outside of CDOT. In 2017, the North American Employee Engagement Awards named us as a winner. Thank you for that. And in 2018, we were named a top 25 innovation in American government by the Innovation in American Government Awards program sponsored at Harvard University. And as Kelly mentioned, we've also been recognized by the Inspiring Workplaces Award program. Thank you, in the Innovation in the Workplace Award category. Thank you for that recognition. And as part of that recognition and the other recognitions, we've promised to share our story, and we're honored and pleased to do that today. During the Inspirathon, I have heard, and I'm sure all of you have heard too, some wonderful stories from wonderful presenters, and many of them have underlined the crucial importance of culture. Here at CDOT, we are working to build a culture of improvement where new ideas are tested and valued and shared by engaging everybody at CDOT in improving our business. And our leaders are working to build that culture. And by the way, not just leaders that have official management titles, but leaders across the organization. They are working to build that culture so that everybody can participate. And why is that so important? Well, we know that management, particularly top management, sees only a fraction of the issues that are in our business. It is great that we can engage people at the front line who see all the issues and empower them to work on doing something about all those issues so that we can continuously improve every product, every service, every process to benefit every customer. If you don't have something similar in place, we hope to inspire you today to design and implement something similar to our Lean Everyday Ideas program. And we at CDOT take our inspiration from many diverse sources. We love the thoughts from Admiral Dr. Grace Hopper. For those of you that don't know her, she was a pioneer in the computer field. She helped develop some of the first programming languages in the computer field. And I love this quotation. The most dangerous phrase in the language is, "We've always done it this way." At CDOT, we believe that we can do things better every single day with every single process and every single product that we provide to customers. Here is one great example. Dave Ulaine, our Director of Aeronautics in Colorado, worked with his team on the excise tax process. So here in Colorado, we tax aviation fuel when it goes into airplanes, and we distribute that to airports across the state. The before process, well, you can see that on the left, very cumbersome. After they improve that process, 2 steps. Think about how much simpler that makes it for our customers, how much better that makes it for our customers. Thank you, Dave, and thank you to everybody in aeronautics. We also ask people at CDOT to fix what bugs them. And very often that's safety. We have some inherently unsafe places where we work. Gosh, we're sometimes we're just an arm length away from cars that are supposed to be traveling very slowly through construction zones and sometimes aren't. So we ask our people to fix things that bug them, and very often they pick up on safety. This is a terrific innovation from John McDonald in our Northwest Colorado section. Mark Eike actually is the maintenance superintendent in that section. It's an improvement about how we install some of the equipment on our highways. I want to thank John and thank Mark for his terrific leadership and John's terrific leadership in making this practice safer at CDOT. And we have folks in office situations also making things easier. Sometimes very simple things can go a long ways. This is using color coding to help save time and effort and reduce error within one of our functions at our headquarters location, our Division of Human Resources. I want to thank Taj Schenkel. And Taj is no longer with CDOT, but Taj, perhaps you're listening in today. Thank you for this terrific improvement that you made to how we actually organize our files. And as the great Simon Sinek advises us, start with why. So why is this so important? It's important because we at CDOT, and I'm sure it's true in your organizations too, are asking employees to do more with less in a field that is rapidly changing. Big ideas can only succeed when people are changing and adapting to them, and by making the changes to how work is done. What better way can we do that by empowering our frontline folks to work on what bugs them? And it is equally important about how that's done. So at CDOT, we believe in applying the principles of employee engagement to developing things. And our Lean Everyday Ideas effort started in 2013, and my colleague Mark Eike led that effort. So Mark, take it away.
So kind of where we started. So back about 13 years ago, it was after a survey and we were engaging our employees, and it's like, are your ideas being heard? And we scored pretty low in that. So we got talking about, can we take that and improve on that? And then how do you do that when you start doing that? So we started trying to collect ideas on a small regional effort on over in the Northwest side. And we had a little bit of success, but then I got with Gary and some other folks, and it's like, no, this is way more important than just a regional thing. And plus, we like to get these ideas across the state. So we got a group together. And you can see the picture here. And this was with maintenance folks, and this is with office folks and different departments. We tried to mix that all up, and we got together, and we took about a week, and we dissected this. How do we do this? How do we collect ideas? How do you share ideas? How do you vet an idea when someone gives it to you? You can't just put something on the highway when someone suggests it. So this team was a wonderful team. We got together. We had a lot of support from upper management when we brought this idea forward to them to do this, and they were supporting us the whole way. So ideas happen every day. They're happening if you're collecting them, or if you're thinking about it, or if you're doing anything with them or not. So your goal as a group and as managers or even supervisors is what are you doing about it? Are you collecting them? How are you engaging them employees to do that? And what great ideas are you missing every day? They're here. How are you going to make your organization better by doing all these things?
Thank you, Mark and the team, for coming up with Lean Everyday Ideas, which allows everyone at CDOT to be innovators and to fix what bugs them. And they do this by going to our external site, which is Lean Everyday Ideas at CDOT. And you have two options there. You can either click the I Fixed It button or the I Suggest one. So after you go to our site, if you click the I Fixed It one, this means that you have a solution. You have an innovation already in place that you want to share. So after you click this, you go to a Google form and you'll fill out some questions about your innovation. And once you're done with that, you'll submit that. And now we'll start the vetting process, where the Office of Process Improvement here at Colorado Department of Transportation will see if this innovation is ready to be published on our external site. It may need additional vetting, where we may need to get in contact with the innovator for some more answers. And once we determine that it is ready to be published, we will use what we call as an idea card, which we'll go over in the next slide, which will be published on an external site, and anyone can borrow this innovation. The other option that we have is the I Suggest button. Now, this is one that you maybe don't have a solution for quite yet, but you really think there needs to be. Man, do we have a lot of those. So you fill out the Google form again, and you'll fill out the questions about what you think needs to be solved. And once you submit that, that again starts the vetting process where we'll see, do we have a solution for this? Is this something that we can get a solution for? And if we really feel like we can, then we connect with subject matter experts and work towards getting that idea card out and spreading the solution. So with the idea card, this is how we share the solutions that we have. So this is when something has already passed the vetting process. So with the idea card, the goal here is to give a snapshot of the innovation. We want everyone to really quickly know what the innovation is, and within minutes to really see, is this something that I can use in my daily work? So right away, you know what the challenge is, you know what the innovation is, you know the parts used and the benefits. And if you figure out, this is something I want to use, I want to figure out more information about this, it's real easy, and you can click the button down there that says click here for more details, and it'll link you to a Google Drive, which will have a document on a step-by-step on how to implement this innovation, and it'll also have information on who to contact for more information. So on our external site, we have 352 ideas so far, and anyone can view them. So if you have your cell phone out, you can use that QR code on the side here, and it'll directly link you up to our idea cards, and you can look and see what great ideas we have out there. And don't worry, we'll have that QR code multiple times throughout the presentation if you don't quite get it on the slide. So one of the great things about the Idea Cards site is that we have a searchable database. Now, I love this because 352 ideas is a lot to look through. So you can use the searchable database to really search quickly by date. You can even type in some keywords. You can go by category. We have a lot of different divisions here at Colorado Department of Transportation. So maybe you want one in maintenance, in environmental, and engineering. You can search with the categories there. And you can also search by region. So real quickly, you can narrow down your search and see, is there innovations that fit your job that you can use? So this is an example of one of the innovations that we had come through Lean Everyday Ideas. And this is the earthwork tool. So this is one that is in our pre-construction category. And with this tool, the pre-construction group noticed here at CDOT that a lot of the contractors that they were working with, where the contractors would bid on CDOT projects, were really unhappy with how to estimate soil quantities. So CDOT employees weren't really sure how, they didn't like the tool that was being used. The contractors didn't like the tool that was being used. So they sat down and they worked with the external client, who was a contractor, to figure out how can we make this tool better. So this ended up with modifying the earthwork tool. And really, it was a win-win for CDOT employees and also for the contractors. So one of the things that we hear about Lean Everyday Ideas is that it's great and people love it, but they just don't know about it. They don't know about some of these great innovations that are already out there. So one of the things that we try to do, and we started this summer, was having series. And this summer we had a maintenance series where we try to share videos that were 5 to 7 minutes and highlighting ideas that we already have and hoping to spread that throughout our state. And so this winter, we're also having another series, and this one is the Sharing Innovation Success in Engineering and Construction series. And the video here is the one where I interviewed the earthwork tool innovators. And we're hoping to have this out in a few weeks and to have other videos following this.
Thanks, Kelly. Here's an example of a card that's we use in maintenance. And the first thing I try to do for our folks when they're starting to talk about an idea is I encourage them to go in and see what's already there. You may have a great idea, maybe already done. You may be able to take that idea and then expand on it, improve on top of that idea. But your first thing is check out what's there. And the beauty of these cards is everything's right there. It's an easy look at it. You can check it out if you're just interested. Hey, what are they doing? Does this apply to what we're doing? And if you like the idea, everything you need to build this thing is actually in here, or at least one clip down for more details. This is one that actually has a video attached for those who may be a little more like visual better. So you can click on there and watch the video actually in action. It really pops out at you when you see these ideas. And another thing I really like, you see we got the name of the innovator on there. So this one's from Jennifer Cooley out of Pueblo. She's a HEO equipment operator for us down there, and she came up with this idea. So it's a way to recognize those employees on top of this. It's like, here's an idea. Thank you, Jennifer, for what you've done. And here, help yourselves out. Another one we have here, and this is for recycle vinyl banners. And your ideas do not have to be large, complicated ideas. And sometimes the simplest ones work the best anyway for you. Someone had an idea. We run through banners with CDOT quite a bit, but then what do you do with them when you're done with that program? And then, so this person found it, found some ways to do it, brought that forward with ideas. We're able to do this, and then here we're helping out the environment by quite a bit by recycling here. So it's very encouraging, and this is even, this is from the communications department in CDOT at headquarters, and you may not always think of them as coming up with those type ideas versus communicating them out, but it's for everyone in CDOT to bring your ideas forward. We want them, and we're going to collect them, and we're going to share them with you.
And we're applying those principles, as Mark noted, to even how we are distributing information about innovation. We used to have a pretty clunky system. It wasn't very visual. It still provided information to people about how CDOT was improving, but we knew that we could do better. So a big shout out to Geneva Houghton, Shawarat Buripadecha, and Carl Onsager for actually developing and implementing the Idea Card program that you actually see highlighted today. Shawarat moved back to her native Thailand, and I know is doing great things with innovation and improvement there. And we're very fortunate to have Geneva Houghton and Carl Onsager still serving in public service in Colorado, Geneva in the city and county of Denver, and Carl in the city of Littleton. We're working at CDOT to engage everybody in improving our business, and we hope we've inspired you to do the same. This is our contact information. We are very glad to have you reach out to us after the session. We can provide you with more information. And Matt and Ruth, thank you again for the opportunity to present during the Inspirathon. I want to turn it back to you, and we are open to for questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was just a brilliant success story. I'm not surprised that you won the Innovation Award. And thank you so much for sharing it, and all three of you. That's definitely no mean feat, sharing the presenting. I was really blown away by your story. I really loved hearing everything that you were talking about, but particularly the ideas scheme. And Mark, I think it was you that said sometimes the simplest ideas are the best. And you've really got me thinking about a very similar story of a big grocery superstore chain here in the UK called Waitrose, which is very similar to Walmart, or your Walmart, who ran an ideas scheme, not dissimilar. And it was one of their frontline, part-time, near retiree cashier checkout workers who came up with the idea, who normally would never have had a voice in that organization. I think that's probably one of the key bits here, who came up with the idea that if we just reduced the amount of paper on the till roll for the receipts that we gave to customers, if we just reduced the amount, maybe printed the logo slightly smaller, maybe that would save us some money. And it was such a really small, simple idea that as an organization they implemented, and within the first 12 months, the organization saved over $1 million, or £800,000 as it was in the UK. And what I love about these, what you don't really hear of many organizations putting these ideas cards and these idea schemes in place and seeing the success just like what you've seen. So like I said, no surprises that you've won the awards, and thank you so much for sharing the scheme. I do have one quick question for you. If an organization maybe doesn't have such a scheme, or isn't really thinking in that way around innovation and engaging all of their people in being part of that innovation and cost saving and change or whatever it is, where would you advise they start?
This is Gary. I think you start off by having Mark work for you. And here's why. We started, we had this team that Mark led, and was based on Mark taking the principles of lean process improvement and implementing that in his area of Colorado, northwest part of Colorado. I think you can start this any place, and Mark took it upon himself to do that. So thank you, Mark. By the way, nobody else can have Mark. We need him here at CDOT. But that's just my thought. Mark and Kelly may have different thoughts.
I would say is don't think so big and think, just start small. And maybe it's in your small office or in the room or in the cubicles, because I've always had this thought that your ideas don't always go across the cubicle and you're 5 feet from someone. You got to have a way of sharing that. So if you can get an idea, and Gary and I started with kind of like what we call a seed idea, something very simple. Take that idea and you start running with it. How you start sharing with it and getting people engaged. That's basically how this whole thing started, and then it just kept expanding out. And then, of course, we start taking it out to our upper management and say, hey, we have an idea here, this is working. And then we kept bringing it forward, and then we ended up with the program we got going now. And I don't think Gary and I would say that we knew where we would be now after we started this. So it's kind of surprising, but it grows on itself.
Hello, I just thought I'd insert myself into the conversation. How are you, Gary?
Hi, Matt.
Thank you so much for your insights. I'm a huge advocate of employee ideas. I think that nobody knows your business better than your people. They work their day in, day out, and as Ruth's been alluding to, and you've proven the benefits can be massive. Just to give a couple of examples, last year we wrote a book around employee ideas. We actually said it was the year of the employee idea, but then other things happened. But the Post-it note was an employee idea. The Big Mac was an employee idea. These are the kind of life business changing ideas that come from people. One of the offshoots of it is I think it builds advocacy. If you listen and act upon your employees' advice, they grow closer to you and then perform better and work harder. And I just wondered if you've seen that or measured it at all, the advocacy growing within the organization.
Matt, I appreciate the question. There were several prior presenters during the Inspirathon, and thank you, by the way, again for the Inspirathon. Terrific inspiration there. A number of folks emphasizing what I call servant leadership, empathy, being empathetic for each other. I believe that Lean Everyday Ideas, this whole idea of getting people engaged actually does build empathy. It builds empathy with other folks. My idea I can do something, and boy, my leader's going to support me. Oh man, that's so powerful. And I can then, I have somebody support me to spread it across the state and potentially other places. Absolutely, it is a major driver of that empathy. Mark and Kelly may have different thoughts, but I certainly see that.
I would say positivity, as it grows and people see that, it grows upon itself. And the successes grow, and then you'll keep expanding on that. It exponentially keeps growing on you. So it's exciting to watch too, and you see people light up when they do it.
And one of the things too is we have people that submit multiple innovations out there. So I think that just shows how people are so engaged that they don't just submit one; they keep wanting to be innovators as well. Yeah.
And it's often the spark, somebody's idea creates another idea, and then away you go. So thank you so much for your time. We will obviously be sharing this content so you can show it around Colorado, the state of Colorado too, and that you're on the Inspirathon. And thank you so much.